All right, good morning, everybody. It's great to see everyone. Mayor Todd Gloria, City of San Diego, thank you so much for being with us here in City Heights. This is the third time that Rick Gentry and I have come together to draw the public's attention to the San Diego Housing Commission's Housing Stability Assistance Program, which launched back on March the 15th. And today I brought you an all-star lineup of individuals to implore San Diegans to go to the San Diego Housing Commission's website, check their eligibility, and if they are eligible for this housing assistance program, to apply for it right away. I'm joined this morning by our Congressman, Juan Vargas, Councilmember Sean Elo Rivera, who represents Council District 9, Richard Barrera, our school board president, and his colleague Sharon Whitehurst-Payne. Dr. Whitehurst-Payne, thank you for being here. Starting at noon today, right here in this parking lot of Clark Middle School, the district will start distributing free meals for children on a walk-up or drive-up basis. President Barrera will talk more about that initiative that's been going on for, I think, about a year now and served a tremendous amount of children during this difficult time. Along with those meals today, the school district will also be handing out flyers about the city's Housing Stability Assistance Program. And I want to thank our school district leaders for working collaboratively with the city to make sure that children who are clearly in need of nutrition programming might also avail themselves of housing assistance programs. Some of you may remember that last year the city, thanks to federal funding, was able to put up more than $13 million for struggling families dealing with back rent. This year, Congress stepped up in a much bigger way and has made it possible for us to provide over $83 million worth of past rent and utility payment assistance. And this is when I want to thank Congressman Juan Vargas for his help in doing that. Our congressional delegation has been extremely effective in making sure that San Diego families that are vulnerable due to the pandemic are getting assistance, and few have been a stronger voice than Congressman Vargas. And this is also when I take the opportunity to thank our President, Joe Biden, for the passage of the American Rescue Plan, his plan passed by Congress. Thank you, Congressman Vargas, for your vote. What that does is help the city balance its budget and make sure that we avoid some of the painful cuts that would have been necessary without that particular relief package. This all together really shows that our congressional delegation understands what we've said over and over again, that during these difficult times, we are all in this together. And so that's what the Housing Stability Assistance Program is about. For all of the renters and homeowners who are out there, landlords and tenants alike, who are struggling with back rent and back utility bills, we have an $83 million fund available to help folks actually pay down that back rent, pay down those past utility bills, and get back on with things, particularly as our economy reopens. So because this is made possible through a very generous contribution from our federal government, I want to invite up our Congressman Juan Vargas to talk more about his help and leadership in this regard, and then you'll hear from our other speakers. I'll be back to wind up at the end. Congressman Vargas?
Well, thank you very much, Todd. Thank you very much. I want to thank the mayor first and foremost. I sit on financial services. That is the committee that actually provided the money for this rental assistance and utility assistance. But I have to tell you, if it wasn't for the strong leadership of the mayor, we never would have gotten it through. But it was the mayor, really the right person at the right time. And I say that because of this. This darn pandemic has been interesting because it's been very, very uneven. There's been some families that haven't actually suffered financially much at all. There's some that's actually done very well. In fact, if they've been invested in some of the high techs, they've done well. You've seen some of the multi-billionaires become even wealthier. But there's been families that have really suffered and continue to suffer because people have gotten sick, people have died. They've lost their jobs. They haven't been able to pay their rent. There's been a lot of families who have been devastated by this pandemic. And thank God we have a mayor that comes forward and says that. You know, we're all in this together. It's not just some of us, we're all in this together. And that's why we fought very hard to make sure that this rental assistance, this money, got in to help all the communities in San Diego and across the country. So we put in $5 billion in assistance to help those most in need to pay the energy and water bills, $19.1 billion to state and local governments to cover back rent, rent assistance, utilities for at-risk, low-income households with unemployed members, and $11 billion for various other federal housing programs to address homelessness and a whole bunch of other things. But again, it's because it's been uneven. Here in San Diego, many people have lost their jobs. Not because anything they did, it's because of the pandemic. It hasn't been their fault at all. That's why, again, I want to thank everyone that's here. I know the Housing Commission, you guys have been doing a magnificent job, but unfortunately, you got more to do. And that's why we got you some more help here. I know the city's been working very, very hard. The council member is going to speak in a moment. I'm sure he'll tell you how difficult it's been for some of the people in his community and the school board. Thank you for the school board. You know, one of the things that's been very difficult, and people don't understand this, is oftentimes a child can't get nutrition at home because the family's too poor. They actually get fed at the school district, and the school district's been doing all it can, and I know it's going to do even more to make sure those kids get fed. So again, I want to thank everyone that's here, but especially I want to thank the leadership of the mayor. We have the right person at the right time in this mayor. He shows compassion. For the girls that are at the convention center, he shows compassion because he is part of this community, always has been. So again, Mayor, I want to thank you for all your work. God bless you, brother.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shawnee Rivera, the council member for the 9th District, where we are currently located. Housing is a human right. Home is dignity, it's security, it's sanctuary, it's comfort, it is health, and it is essential to education as well. For thousands of San Diegans, their homes and their livelihoods have been in jeopardy. A global pandemic and its effects on our economy have upended countless families, as the congressman and mayor have said, and as we've heard in our council office. It's exposed colossal inequities and laid bare decades of a long legacy of underinvestment as a result of discrimination. For these communities, the circumstances right now are nothing new, although they are heightened. Unemployment, COVID infection rates, and housing insecurity were most acute in San Diego's southeastern, South Bay, and mid-city communities this past year. And the horrors of poverty have been compounding at an exponential rate. And I am so grateful that San Diego is responding to this crisis. Obviously, much to thank at the federal level. Thank you, Congressman Vargas, for your work and your advocacy. And with that support from the federal government, we've been able to create the most significant rental assistance program in our city's history and responded to the profound anxiety that has been bubbling for months. And I want to take a moment here to go off script. When I thought this morning about being at a middle school, it occurred to me that my family's most severe housing instability occurred when I was in middle school. And the moments of not knowing where we would be living, of having to rely on hotel rooms to get by, none of that would have needed to happen if programs like this were in place. That really disrupted my education, my siblings' education. I know it created incredible stress and impact on my parents as they were going through their own health and economic turmoil at the time, which had led us into that situation. All of that is to say that a program like this rental assistance program can make all the difference for a family. So what I would really like to do is piggyback on the mayor's request for folks to see if you are eligible, but also for those of you who have a family member or a friend, share this program with them as well. Because there is no shame in accepting some help when you're in a time of need, especially when it means when it can have the impact that it can have for children who are in such a tough time right now. So with that, I just want to say thank you to the Housing Commission and the staff over there for the really considerable work you've done to partner with our team to make sure that the outreach is not just done, but done well, and to the mayor's office as well for not just allowing good enough to be good enough, but to go above and beyond to make sure that this program is a success. It really will make all the difference for families, and we are deeply grateful for that. Thank you so much. I will be now announcing or bringing up Rick Gentry and thanking you for the work that you've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Very much appreciate it. The COVID-19 Housing Stability Assistance Program gives hope to families with low income who are struggling with past due rent and utilities. Help is available. What we ask you to do, if you have access, is to apply online at COVID Assistance, that's one word, COVID ASSISTANCE, covidassistance.sdhc.org, or just go on the Housing Commission's website and follow the instructions. More than 8,100 applications have been submitted so far for this program, and more than 6,700 are pending completion. And although those sound like big numbers, we want to make sure that everyone, and I mean everyone in San Diego who may qualify knows about the program and applies for help. I'll point out as well that if you need help applying, or if you do not have internet access, you may call the following number for help, and that is 619-535-6921. Again, 619-535-6921 if you need help or you do not have internet access. In addition, there are 10 community-based organizations that are also working with the Housing Commission to help San Diegans apply. These organizations are providing help in more than 20 languages in the city. In addition, the Housing Commission has created videos to help guide tenants and the landlords through the application process. These videos are currently available on our website in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. Just visit our website, which is www.sdhc.org, and from the home page you'll get instructions on how to proceed to those videos. I'll point out that although households may qualify if their income is less than $92,400 per year for a family of 4, the program prioritizes households making much less money than that. Priority will go to households making less than $57,750 per year for a family of 4, and the actual average whom we serve, based on the applications that have come in so far, are much, much, much lower than that. We also will prioritize households that have at least one adult who has been unemployed for at least 90 days. I want to thank a number of folks here today for their leadership in making this program happen and making it available. I want to extend thanks first to Mayor Gloria for his continuing leadership and commitment in helping San Diegans in need through this program. The Housing Stability Assistance Program is also possible because of federal funding that's been allocated both directly to the city and through the state to the city. And for that federal funding, Congressman Vargas, thank you so much for your leadership in making sure that these rent relief funds in this program are available. My thanks also to the leadership of Councilmember Elo Rivera, whom you just heard from, for his support, his direction, his leadership, his guidance in making sure that the families here in Council District 9 know about the help they can receive from this program. I also want to acknowledge the members of the San Diego Housing Commission Board who continue to provide valuable insight and leadership to make this program work, and of course the staff of the Housing Commission, led in this program in particular by Azucena Valladolid, for their diligent work in setting this program up to help as many families as quickly as possible get the assistance. We are here at Clark Middle School today because the San Diego Unified School District will be distributing thousands of flyers about the program as part of the outreach. These flyers will be given to families in the district who are experiencing financial challenges. And the San Diego Housing Commission thanks the school district for their partnership in working with us to help these families. And with that said, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you School Board President Richard Barrera.
Thank you, Rick. Thanks so much, and welcome to Clark Middle School. And thanks so much, obviously, to Mayor Gloria and Councilmember Elo Rivera, Congressman Vargas, for the efforts that you've made at the federal level. You know, I think we were all struck by the story that we heard from Councilmember Elo Rivera about his own experience as a middle school student. I can tell you, Sharon and I hear every day from our families about how much housing instability affects not just a student's ability to learn, but a student's mental health. As we know, over the last year, a student's home has also become the student's classroom. And so when students have to experience instability, when their parents are worrying about being able to pay the rent, believe me, it impacts that student's ability to concentrate on education. And so this program that alleviates some of that stress on families is an absolutely critical part of our students being able to succeed at school. The majority of our families will be eligible for this program, and so we are taking it upon ourselves as a school district to do our part to make sure that our families know how to apply. And we just heard from Rick about the ways to apply. We're distributing flyers at all of our meal distribution sites. So we have meal distribution sites at 80 schools throughout our school district. We've distributed over 20 million meals since the pandemic began, and we'll be doing that here at Clark in just a little bit. It's also important to know that when students start to return back to campus next week, we will also be distributing flyers and being available to support our families as they apply for this program. We put a message out in our email blast on Friday that went to over 130,000 families, highlighting the importance of this program and their ability to apply. And so again, on behalf of President Whitehurst Payne and the board and Superintendent Martin, we're just so grateful to have our partners at the city and federal government that are supporting our families, because we know how important housing stability is to all of our families. And thank you, Mayor Gloria.
Good morning. I just want to say thank you to our mayor, my mayor. I supported you. To our congressman, and to Sean, I'll call you because you're a school board member first, right? We remember that. To my colleague, president, and to the housing commissioner here. And I would just like to say that a little over a year ago, we stood here giving out the first meals in this city, and we didn't know what we were dealing with. But Gary back there knows that I was pushing him. We've got to open up more schools. We've got to feed our kids. And so he has expanded now to 80 schools. And we say thank you to him and the staff for doing that. And we knew we were taking care of the food piece, but we also knew that we had a housing issue. And now my heart is full because I thank you, Mayor, for stepping up and doing something about that. I thank you for giving us the money because the city could not do it alone. And Sean, thank you for your story that you shared, because Richard's right. We hear that story every day from our children. And I want to thank you for filling in the pieces. Let's all embrace this and help our children, because that's what it's all about. We want to help our children, and by helping their families, we help the children. Thank you all for being here. Help someone by going online to help them. If you have a neighbor, whoever it is, help them to get the assistance that they need. Thank you. And thank you, Mayor.
Well said, Sharon. Not much to add beyond that. I just want to wrap up by thanking this all-star cast of public servants for being here to help spread the word. Rick, to you and your team for what you're doing. These are the folks that got to take in the applications, process them, process the payments. Not a small part of the equation, a very important part, and I appreciate all that you do, Rick. I want to conclude with maybe just two quick observations. Number one, we had a housing crisis before the pandemic. We have one right now as it's ongoing, and we are likely to have a worse one after we put the COVID-19 into the trash bin. And so programs like this are really important to try and mitigate that as much as possible. And so let's not lose sight of the fact that we have an ongoing housing crisis that is extremely difficult and we need to help. The other crisis in our city that is very evident, I hear a lot about it, I know Councilmember Elo Rivera hears a lot about it too, is our homelessness crisis. And let me be very clear. The quickest and easiest way to stop homelessness is to keep someone from becoming homeless in the first place. And this program will absolutely do that. For every tenant in the city of San Diego who is concerned about the amount of back rent that they owe, this program is here to help you. For every landlord who's out there who have tenants who are not paying currently, educate yourself on this program, work with your tenant, have them apply. This is a way that we can build back better in a city that has been hard hit by the pandemic, but is stronger than any virus. And if we can work together, we can make sure that more families are able to keep their head above water as we rebuild our economy, reopen our schools coming April 12th, 1 week from today. We're all excited about that. Good job, school board. Thank you. But please do me the favor. All of our media friends who are here, thank you so much for being here. Please, sdhc.org. Get that message out there. Get folks signed up. Give folks some hope that better days are ahead, because I truly believe that they are. Thank you all again for being here today.